I on the computer. But anyway, let me back up a little bit because I don't want y'all to see exactly where dude work at. But yeah, this is my little. I'm building my case, my paper trail. You know what I'm saying? I got notes in here. You know what I mean? Notes. I even got written down. Where is it at? Oh, where here? Where's it at? This one. I got it written down in here. Oh, here we go. Like this one right here. This is a note I have wrote to myself. I wrote this note to myself, right? I wrote this note saying that basically, I was, asking for, time or whatever, right? But I put in this note, it was a note to myself, whatever. Now the date happened on the 30th, but the date I wrote this note was the 12th of December 4th. And what happened was I had called out this day. I called out of work, right? On the 30th. And I was asked to get, a doctor's note. And I said, I do a text message that I text or the text message that I text my overseer or whatever. And I was like, I'm not, what's the name, right? I'm not getting no doctor's note or whatever. I was like, I'm not going to get no doctor's note. So, matter of fact, hold up. Where is that? See, this is my doctor's note right here. Well, I got doctor's notes, but what happened was right here, you can see right here, right? I had, let me hold it right here. Now I called out that day, right? I called out that day on the 16th, and I called out pretty much, I think it was that day on the 21st, but I went to the doctors that day, and I went to the doctors on the 23rd, which was for both days. So I had doctor's notes to cover these 3 days. I didn't have one for this day, which was November. And I'm like, I wasn't going to go get one because obviously when I got this letter of warning didn't matter, or so I forgot what it was. But the letter of warning didn't matter. I mean, the doctor's notes didn't matter. So, what's the point of getting it if it don't matter? It was so I could get paid. But anyway, I had wrote in that other note that because I had called out, because I called out, and because when I text my supervisor, I was like, I'm not getting the doctor's note. I'm not going to the doctors. So after that, when I wrote in that note, I put in there that, I feel that all of a sudden that my supervisor is coming at me and they're going to build a paper trail on me. So I wrote that on the 12th, December 4th, I wrote that. And that text was the 30th, November 30th. So I'm basically proving that they're going to try to say that, because lately, since the 12th on, I'm proving at the time I asked for, they would never, one supervisor would give me enough, but the one that's coming for me will always not give me enough or just give me way less, like to set me up for failure. And I can prove that. That's why I'm glad I kept all my papers. So I could prove that this supervisor, this overseer was giving me, like, just giving me unfair treatment for as the time. Like if I needed 45 minutes before that text in November, I would get, if I asked for 45, I would get at least a half an hour. If I asked for an hour, I'll get 45. If I asked for an hour 15, I would get the hour. So I got that paperwork showing that the supervisor that is out to get me was giving me the time, or a decent amount of time. But ever since that text, the overseer's been setting me up for failure. Instead of giving me the decent amount of time, will give me way less than I need So basically, I gotta scramble and scrape for stuff. I gotta go crazy. I got, not giving me enough time. So I could kind of prove that. But also, like I said, it's a good thing that I wrote that down, that on the 12th, that I can feel, I basically predicted what's happening now. All of a sudden, and this is the thing too, they can't get me on my time and attendance because I walk to work and home from work and I'm on time. I go to work every day, so they can't get me like they can get other people with their attendance, not coming to work, not being there, because I'm always at work. I don't got time to play games. But they want to accuse me of stealing time. So this is what they're doing. They got to get me on other things. Now all of a sudden, they trying to hit me with these phantom charges. I don't want to say it's called an event. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. But it's called an event. I'm getting phantom events, freaking 65 minutes, 85 minutes of phantom events, and it's crazy. All of a sudden, but before I wasn't getting it, but now I'm getting these events after this supervisor, after that text, like I predicted. I'm trying to freaking figure out how can I find these charges in my file, but I mean, somebody said I could go on the computer and find it, but I can't find it. But I know at least I can predict that, I can show that I was getting a decent amount. Basically, I could show that I was being set up for failure after that text. So right now, I'm just also I'm trying to find those charges, like every incident I got some of the incidences. So, but it's like I could show that yeah, I got a case. I got my paperwork. That's why the pen is mightier than the mouth or whatever. I'm out. Thank you, YouTube, man. Peace.